to Silverrun Forest Farm. It is 7 o'clock in the morning. We're here with Jake. It is the second half of April. And where we got to last time, we were doing a bunch of work to get our final fields ready and stuff in so that we can progress with our plans. So the new fields are coming along. Didn't quite finish planting Eddie's field, so sort of dark fell and he had to come back up to the house to fill up with seed. So we've just done that, and now we can head on down, get that field organised. He's had a bit of an idea. So at the end of the last episode, we were picking up the bales off the waterfront field. So ended up with 50 bales off there, which was a couple more than expected, which now need to be wrapped to turn into silage. But as a result, he's thinking, well, the cows don't need that silage that's sitting there. We're going to have tons of silage, so we might pick up a trailer load of those and take them down to the store, just to top up the cash for the minute, because he's got a bit of another idea of forming in his head now. Where were we up to on this headland? Just got to find the right spot. That was the start point. But I'm pretty sure we were somewhere. There's two headlands to do here. Somewhere around the side. Here we go. Looks like we were down to one headland here, so maybe not, maybe two. I reckon he was around here somewhere. So, nearest waypoint, we'll shoot you off. Yeah, so just sort of doing some laps around here. He's been thinking about everything that's on, and he still remembered that we need to take we need to sell some milk. And then he started to think about this block that we've got sitting over here. You can see he brought over the stuff from the firewood processor. He's sort of cleaning off a couple of trees here, but it struck him there's a neat little spot here where we could be putting our own little dairy. And so rather than selling milk direct to the cafe in town, he's wondering if we might make a little bit more ourselves if we put a small dairy in. And thinks this could, right next to the farmers market, potentially this might be a neat spot to look at. So with that in mind, he's cleared a couple of trees off here. And we can just take our little trailer here across to the firewood business and just have a bit of a look at what he's got in mind. We're got to top the cash up. But we can leave this just here for now. Yeah, so if we look back over here and just have a look, we only needed to take 2 or 3 trees out of the edge of this plot. But if we get into the overhead view, what he's thinking is a little place something along these sort of lines. Yeah. I think all of the action for deliveries and things are on this side, and we can put the back to the tracks, but we could pop something like that easily in there. We've still got plenty of room for something else on the other end of the block, but that just gives us somewhere to be dropping our milk off. So and that's going to be 50,000, so we don't quite have enough, but we'll see how we go. So that's something to be thinking about. Now, we did have the plough going. Need to get our workers set over here. So I only managed to get a little bit of the ploughing done on this field last time, so we can get that one underway. Continue off. Shrink you down. So that'll toot along. He did manage to throw some lime on after we've got the bales off, so that's now looking perfect. So we shouldn't have any trouble getting this one completely dealt with today. We should be able to get the ploughing done and get the seed into there, although we could still seed corn into next month. Now you can see, I don't know if you can pick it out just over there next to the BGA. Looks like one of the businesses that they are preparing for has come to town. From what Jake's been able to understand, it's a factory that makes diesel from various grain inputs. So it's like a one of these newfangled, oops, I don't want to be in there, I want to be in this machine. So we'll go up and get our silage, but yeah, it makes diesel out of I think soybeans, and it's kind of a combination thing from what he can understand. But yeah, soybeans and canola are two crops that spring to mind. I don't know if we've got any details about it. Let's have a look on our, obviously can't see it in our list. If we have a look at the map, yeah, there it is there, the diesel factory. So we'll have to investigate that one. But at the moment, we might get a clue actually in our, let's have a look here. Don't think it takes corn. Nope. The diesel factory sells diesel. But if we have a look in here, so yeah, the diesel factory buys canola and no, soybeans, doesn't take corn. So soybeans and canola look like the major inputs there. I didn't see sorghum. No. So we're not growing either of those at the moment. So it won't really affect us in the short term, but something to think about for the future. For now, let's get on up and see if we can sell a trailer to silage and see how close that puts us to the 50 grand we need. And with any luck, by the time we get done with this activity, then our plough will be nearing the end of the Waterview fields, and we'll be able to go and see how close we can get to finishing that last field on the hillside, because that's really the only one left to go. Now, which way is it best? We've got a tree at the other end. We've got enough space to sneak through there and pick these guys up. We're going to separate them first, so it's that one's separate. That was that one. That one is not. So we'll unwrap a bunch of them. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many have we got here? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 is this guy. Got to come down this way. I think that then leaves us 3. Three for our own purposes, which will be good. Don't need to unwrap that one on the end. I think we're going to be able to pick him up. There we go. The farmer's market won't mind too much. Now, another job that is on the list today, I think we're getting pretty full of, yeah, there's the milk, 6,500 litres of milk we've got to sell. Slurry's not too bad. So, and they're fine for food at the moment. So basically, the cows are in good shape as long as we can do something productive with the milk. We'll just load these up. It'll only take a second. We're getting pretty good value out of this trailer, even if it is one of the only bits of equipment we've leased. The other rumour that Jake heard, although he's not sure how true it is that Agco might be setting up some sort of distributor and or the like down near that diesel thing. Now, I don't know, Eddie hasn't been too forthcoming, so not sure how true it is, but whether or not he sees it as potential competition, or whether it's just going to be a service center, or but either way, if something along those lines came along, Jake could be interested, given we got a few Agco bits and pieces, what with the Gleaner and the Allis dotted around the place, and he is on the lookout for another bigger Allis ultimately to at least complement the case, if not replace it. But we'll have to wait and see how that all goes. Looks like our man here reckons he's finished. There's a few dots in the field that will come back and straighten out. Maybe the boundaries we gave him to work within weren't as well set as we would necessarily like. That field's looking pretty good. So that's one batch of corn in. The other thing Jake picked up, just because he thought it might be useful, was a cultivator there. So certainly when we get the barley in, we might need that. We won't need to be ploughing everything all the time. let's unfold the trailer here and let's see how well we do. Rightio, 27 grand. So that's actually perfect. So if we just pause here for a sec, let's run over and have a look. So what we'll just do first is turn on our little markers, make sure we give the instructions to the folks that construct these things to do it in the right way. So let's have a look here. So our production, it's looking like that anything it produces comes out on this side and goes in on this side. So if we put it around that way, it looks like the ground's pretty flat. It doesn't have to do much at all. We just want to try and get him pretty well back. Gives us maximum space at the front if we want a little bit of car parking or the like. I reckon somewhere just like that might look all right. Now, whether or not we decide we want to take that tree out, we can have a chat to the folks here in the farmers market about what they want in terms of gaps and connection with the car park, but for now that'll do us. I think we'll put a little bit of landscaping in. Just a little bit of roadway. Some gravel. But that's the first step. Easy enough to get through here to drop some product in. So let's have a look what it's a small dairy. Now we can do butter, cheese and chocolate. Now Paige will be happy about that. She's a more than small chocolate fan. Jake's a bit partial to cheese with the occasional glass of red wine after a long day and a nice dinner. And it holds 50,000 litres of milk. Now we don't have any sugar at the moment, so that's obviously something we're going to need if we are going to produce chocolate. But we've got plenty of sugar beet coming, so maybe there's a way there we can get ourselves organised. There might be something small we can do to help us along. But for now, that's a good start. You can see the diesel factory there. I don't know if they're making use of that old tank. They can presumably ship product in and out on the rail pretty easily, so it's still pretty early days. But for now, main thing we need to know is if we had canola or soybeans, that'd be potential to sell them. So there's still a heap more space there and containers and all sorts of things that are potentially interesting. These piles of logs just keep gradually disappearing, so there's clearly keen to do something with the site. What's that in the end there? Well, that's interesting. Just hang on a tick. We'll park up the trailer. Oops, can we get up the hill? As you can see, there are our 50 bales, but what Jake's just spotted is a sign on the fence. Agco. So maybe the rumours are true. Only a weeny little sign. I didn't do a very good job. But maybe the rumours are true. Okay. Well, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. So we've got plenty of bales here. They need to go in our stacker here. Now, I think what we'll do is grow the snake out the other side like we've done once before. Because there's plenty of room there. I reckon if we head right down to those trees, I mean, we can always make 2 strips if we need to. It doesn't all need to be in a single sausage, but we can certainly get 25 bales between here and where the trees start. So that's a job. Doesn't have to be done today. We might get a few in it, and in fact, making 2 snakes, it means we sort of make one today and one when we get a chance potentially. For now, we'll just put the machine in the right spot, so we're good to go. That grass there doesn't need anything done with it for a little while, so that's good. Let's just pop over and check how the plough is going, because we're definitely going to need him up on the hill. Looks like he's still working the up and downs. Yeah, so he's got probably another... Oh, I can't see him being done on here until lunchtime, so we've got a few things we can do first. Let's go and finish the corn that's in Eddie's field, and that way we know he's ready to go. And in fact, we'll have a look at the planting calendar, but unless we wanted to put corn over in the hillside field, which I'm not sure we really do, the only other option is, can we cut out enough to maybe get some soybeans in there before the end of the day? Because I think our only crop window other than corn, where are we here? Let's look at the right screen. So there we go. So corn, oh no, we've got another month for soybeans. So potentially that's, well, in fact, we've got time for soybeans or sorghum, but given that factories come to town, what I'm thinking is we want to be putting our efforts into making as much space as we can on that hillside in the next, well, the rest of today and the next day, so that we definitely get a late soybean crop in there as much as we can. So that's feeling like that's the plan. We'll still go ahead and put corn down in Eddie's field. So that'll give us oats, barley, ultimately corn in here, corn in here. As you can see, we ended up with three fields of sugar beet, and however much space we can make here will be what we'll end up with soybeans. So looks promising. Don't be distracted by this little stripe. That's the sugar beet that we had in there last year in those strips when we did the experiment. But that's where we are. So just get the little bits we missed on the edge. And just check our workers' activity. I don't think our worker did anything wrong here. I think this is just where we defined the edge of the field, so that's all right. I remember that bit there. That was Jake ploughed a little bit closer to the little roadway than he intended. Got a bit distracted. There'll be a nice little spot here at the end for a shed or a shelter or something. I haven't really decided how to finish that off. We'll just see how we go. Our little dairy looks all right there. That'll do well. We'll pop up in a minute and get some milk to deliver to it. We've got 3 little dots there to finish off. So certainly lots of little light industrial activity happening around the town. It's good to see. Never know, might bring a few new folks into the area. More customers for the riding school. More ideas for Jake. Looks like a rock there, so that's why he stayed away from that one. After this season's crop might have to come down. Don't want to be hitting that with the header. Come down and get rid of that, I think might be a good idea. I don't think we'll worry about the dots on the other side. We can get that one right there though. Excellent. Well, let's just head back on. Leaving equipment scattered all over the place at the present. We're going to need one of the trucks to take that 5,500 litres of milk's going to be, or 6,000 litres of milk's going to be pretty darn heavy in that little tanker trailer. But if we do reasonable business out of the dairy, Jake's just thinking there's no reason why in the future it mightn't be able to buy its own little tanker and come and collect the milk from us rather than us have to take it down there. It's certainly like the dairy to wash its own face, so that might be the go in future. But now we've just got to get things kicking off. We're going to need more seed in there, so whether it's soybeans or corn. Back you up. Open the slot. Want you to kick around. You don't. That's it. There we go. Refill that. Oops, gone too far. Beautiful. We'll leave that there for the minute. As it turns out, it's probably just as easy to run this tractor up to where the trucks are. And given we use this one on the winch anyway, don't want to speak too soon, but apart from the little bit of challenges imposed by the snow over the winter, the weather's been remarkably kind to us. So if that luck holds, we might have a really neat harvest season coming up. So there's the road. Let's see here. Crop's in but hasn't come out of the ground yet. That might be, we'll just see how we go for time, because as you can see there's still a little bit of undergrowth and the like on here. We've got the odd tree, got some logs at the bottom there that need clearing away, and in fact need processing at some point. Most of them are off the hillside. Not sure how much further across will come. Potentially a little bit, but we'll probably clear that from the top. So just see how we go. Yep, 6,500 litres. That's a nice little total. It might be just as easy to back it in across the little grass there until we get told otherwise by the farmers market. We'll know if we come in one day and they've popped a fence down that they aren't real impressed. We're not going to trigger. There we go. Why will you not overload milk? I believe we are running into one of the issues that has appeared since the patch. So patch 1.9 I'm talking about, because that is not letting me overload at all. Storage is empty. There's a tanker there and it's in the trigger. In fact, it's telling us it's in the trigger. we managed to achieve the result using a little bit of creators' trickery, but that's not a sustainable long-term solution. However, we now have our 6,660 litres of milk in our dairy. And let's look, so 15 litres of milk makes 13 litres of butter times 360, so fairly quickly. So 13.3, so we're going to get about 4,000 litres of butter a month. And if we have a look at our pricing, $6,000 litres of milk would have given us 7,200 litres, or $7,200 or thereabouts. But in butter, if we converted it all, we'd end up with a little bit more. Without doing the maths, end up with about 5,000. So $10,000. So about 20 to 30% more without doing the maths in detail, and quite a lot more if we make cheese. What is the cheese recipe? We lose a third making cheese. So I think for the moment we'll make both cheese and butter. And then just see what are the respective rates. So we're going to end up with 2,000 litres of cheese and what did I say, 4,000 litres of butter. So we'll let it go for a month and see what pops. But for now, let's get the tanker back to the farm. Pop the tanker back in its spot for now. But and I think before we break for lunch, we might pop down and see whether or not we can get the seeding underway. At least put the seeder down there, and we'll check in properly with how the ploughing is progressing. Let's just pop you there for now. The other thing Jake started to think about, having got all that sugar beet in, is what are we going to do with it all when we harvest it? We're going to need some storage. You know, do we come and create an area down here near our silo where we can dump it more formally? Put a proper facility in the back there might be the right way to go. Or do we do some sort of deal with the sawmill and put something over next to our little BGA that we now operate? So there's a few choices. Looks like our man here is very close to finishing. Just pop around the corner here. Looks like he's getting real close to finishing the... Oh no, still got a little ways to go. Probably another 8 to 10 up and downs to do there. Looking at that width probably brings us over here. So, although they get shorter up this side. Now, what we could do, of course, is start seeding in the middle. But I don't think there's a rush to be doing that. There's a little bit of rain coming. So what we might do is jump over and process a couple of logs, and we'll check back when the ploughing's finished. Just set ourselves up on the end here. Made a reasonable stack to be going on with. Cutting 12s down here is the plan, just so that they're easier to ship and move out. That was pretty straightforward for that pile. Just pack up and relocate. Quite like this processor, works really well for us. The thing that'd be really nice to be able to do is relocate it without having to fold it completely away. So you had the option to just retract the support legs. Just move a couple of little ones off the end that we cut by hand. Rightio. We can winch those back out of the way. Let's go up the slope here and just see what more needs to come out. So we could definitely work, I think, a little bit back this way. And this section clear back to the road. So what I think we'll do is drop all these trees here down the slope, and then by then, with any luck, we can go and grab our plough, get our seeder going, our planter going rather, on the corn. And this section here, we can come back and tidy up. There's space here all the way across to the road and some not unreasonable terrain, I think. So it'll give us a good size area for our soybeans. Are we falling? Yep. Still plenty of trees standing, so now if you haven't seen it, one of my favorite mods works really well here on Silverrun. So it's a PC mod for hiding objects, and it gives you the option on trees to just remove them, and for dead wood like these trees here, it's fantastic. So yes, we can take the deadwood trees out. The only thing you got to be careful is don't take out trees that you want to process, but trees that are just a waste of time So I've just got it set for me on a convenient button. And as long as I've got my icon on it, I can remove. Now, bear in mind with removing trees, you can't get them back. So if for some reason you wanted them, that's not possible, but it greatly simplifies Jake's activities. You can use it on regular trees to disappear those as well, but I think Jake finds they're too valuable. So we will process the good trees. There's a bit of undergrowth in there. Just cutting them so they all fall towards the base of the hill is our simple objective at the moment. So they're falling to our left by and large. It's nice and quick and easy. Just a few more, one more to disappear here. By working this section in, we'll be able to include the strip that we, or at least a good portion of the strip that we used last year for sugar beet, our sugar beet experiment. We could have gone around and sprayed them all first, but given we want all the trees off this section of slope, there's no real point. We have, I'm pretty sure that deadwood tree over there is gone. Maybe not. There we go. Thought I cut that tree. Always find when working in a forested area, there's more trees there than you think. But that's looking like a fairly clear section. There on the other side. That one we cut, he's just fallen off the stump. So that doesn't look too bad at all. Okay. So there'll be some more stumps to take out, but this is going to be quite a decent sized field when we're done. I don't know if we can tell much from overhead. Actually, the way we can look at it is like this. We'll go in our drone view. So we've got a good portion here on this end of the hillside with a little bit of tree protecting the slope and any runoff. I think that'll get us started. And the other thing Jake noticed is there's an area over here that actually we already own, so potentially we can run the... He hadn't noticed it before. We go out into the regular map view and look at the land that we actually own on this north side of the road, and so that little area in there, without pulling out any trees at all, we could create a little field. So that that's definitely an option just to get a little bit extra area under soybean. And these are our sugar beets, are coming along just nicely. Let's get back down to the plough. Here we go. He's looking awfully like he's up to the headlands, which is a promising thing. We'll see what he does at the end here. Yep. Yep, that's got all the hallmarks of the headland there. Going to miss a little bit on the corners that we'll have to come back and fix. But I'm thinking that we face a reasonable trend. Today we'll finish, Jake will be able to finish off ploughing this and get the plough shifted over to the hilled area. We'll be able to potentially get the seeding started on here. So all our activity will be concentrated up on that hillside area for the next month. And when we get all of that in, of course, in June, we'll be back down here ready to harvest our barley, which is all in good shape. We will have to throw some fertilizer around next month, but I think that'll all be fine. Oh, and we have to wrap those bales for silage. So that's sounding more and more like a plan. But for now, we might leave Jake and his contractors at it, and we'll check back in with them next time. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe. See ya.